Alright guys, today I'm very quickly going to give you my top 5 last minute prep tips, specifically for the Wrath of the Lich King launch. By the way guys, we are doing an MMO mouse giveaway in this video. You guys voted for the Razor Naga Trinity, so that's what we're going to be giving away. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is, first of all, subscribe to the channel, and then in the comment section, leave just a random comment like your favourite dad joke or your favourite boss in Wrath of the Lich King, and there you go, you will enter the giveaway. But anyway, let's jump in. First tip is to save an immense amount of money when it comes to leveling consumed. So the BREWFEST event adds Mother's Milk and Ogre Mead, and this is essentially a food buff that gives you 20 strength or 20 stamina. It's equal to what you're using for raids right now, 6 silver each. So there's absolutely no need to buy anything off the auction house apart from if you're a caster, because there is no caster one for the BREWFEST event. Now if you're playing a boosted character or you're playing a Death Knight and still haven't really got yourself a good trinket yet, you can do the current Diary quest every single day for a chance of getting either a spell power trinket, attack power trinket, and also a tanking trinket. And when everyone in the party has the quest, that's 5 chances per day to get this trinket. I managed to grab this last night, so Bob's your uncle. Now my second tip is more of a mistake that I see a lot of people making. Well, I see a lot of YouTubers recommending to do this. They recommend to farm the honor cap right now, so that you can buy PvP gear when you hit level 80. Let's say you go through the effort of getting the honor cap. Well, congratulations, you're probably only be able to get 2 pieces when you do finally hit level 80. And you've wasted a massive amount of time. Right now, because we're level 70, it takes double the time to actually farm honor than it would at level 80. So you're wasting a lot of time there. Secondly, you can actually get much better gear from just getting badges of heroism that you can do from heroics and raids. And you can actually get the PvP gear if you are going to PvP. Plus, you can also just buy the PvP set, which will probably be very cheap on the auction house since people will need to craft it to level up their professions, you know, tailoring, blacksmithing and leatherworking. And the time spent right now farming honor twice as slow could be spent farming gold instead, which would be far more productive, especially as you can just spend that gold on the PvP gear when you hit level 80 instead. Honestly guys, I just think it's an inefficient waste of your time right now, because you can farm the honor twice as fast as level 80 and you can be spending the time right now farming something way more useful for Wrath of the Lich King, which is obviously gold. Now, last minute quest prep. If you don't want to do an immense amount of quest prep, fair enough, but it is definitely worth at least getting a few quests to instantly turn in, Hearthstoning back to Shatterer and then jumping into Northrend. The advantage of going to Northrend later is that you're going to be put on a higher layer. What I mean by that is, the first few layers that are going to get generated in Northrend are going to get filled and packed by players, but if you go to Northrend later, you're going to get put on a lower populated layer, which means less quest competition and less lag. So spending a little time just running around Outland turning in some quests for like half an hour to an hour is definitely going to be better. I've got a route that absolutely everyone can do, even if you've done every single quest in Outland, and I've also got one that's a bit more try-hard, that's a dungeon summoning route. If you want access to this quest list, all you have to do, very simply, subscribe to the channel, go to my subscriber trailer, and it's in the description of that video. Honestly, I don't think it's such a bad idea to do a TBC dungeon, because Northrend could break from all the lag, but we'll talk more about that strategy later in the video. Now, other consumes, other than food, are also pretty cheap at the minute. On my server, you know, flasks are going for in a ballpark of about 10 gold, which is insane considering they used to be about 80 gold. So you definitely want to get your flasks and also your sharpening stones and your oils. If you put sharpening stone or oil on a brutal PvP weapon or a Sunwell weapon, that is going to be the best in slot weapon all the way up until level 80. You're only realistically going to replace that weapon when you start grinding high level dungeons. It's also worth mentioning that spirit scrolls are partially beneficial now to many casters, apart from the elemental shaman, since every caster apart from the Ellie shaman will benefit from spirit. The mage gets crit, and any other specs get spell power. Now this only really equates to the ballpark of 10 spell power, but you know, it's better than nothing. And when you consider how cheap spirit scrolls are, for instance, I just bought a stack for about 60 silver. I mean, you may as well get it. And the same goes for people who are doing dungeons without a class that can give you some kind of stamina buff, so without the Discipline Priest. At least get some cheeky stamina scrolls for your tank, because it will help partially. By the way guys, I've accidentally discovered something pretty good while making this video, because I accidentally got this buff called the BREWFEST Enthusiast, which increases my experience gains by 10% for 2 hours. Now if you're doing a quest prep route, that's going to increase the amount of XP you get from doing that quest prep route by 10%. In order to get this buff, you just have to be at the BREWFEST event area at either 6 AM or 6 PM, and then you can stay logged out until the Wrath of the Lich King launch. And lastly, you need to get your 3-man group, not 5-man group, ready to pump dungeons if you are going for that route and not solo leveling. If you do a 4 or 5-man group, you're definitely going to hit the instance cap and dramatically nerf the time it takes to get to level 80 from about roughly in the ballpark of like 20 to 24 hours all the way up until 28 hours, because you have to stand around waiting for that instance, cap to reset. Rough setup advice is, get a good tank, get a good healer, and then a big fat AoE DPS like a Boomkin and Holy DK, Warlock or Mage. Those are the best slot setups. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I will be prepared to actually do a Burning Crusade dungeon instead of a Northrend dungeon, because I wouldn't be surprised if Northrend just totally breaks and we get a world server down issue, which what normally happens is, the whole area, the new area that the expansion has released, it just happened on an expansion launches sometime. You tried to get into the new area and it just breaks, and you log out and then you log back in, if you manage to log back in, and you're at some graveyard in Stormwind. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little bit nervous about the launch because there's been serious, stupid server issues. Last night my server, Pyrewood, has started finally filling up and getting locked, and yeah, the server just took a massive fart last night. I couldn't type any messages in the party chat, I couldn't see any other players' names, and the issue wasn't just me, it happened for absolutely everybody on the server, so that doesn't really fill me with confidence. Honestly, it might be worth just doing a couple of runs of Shattered Halls on normal mode just to see what happens to Northrend. But anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end the video there. My name is MetaGoblin, until my next video, ciao.